Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live coverage of the Skip Barber Monday Lights, coming to you live tonight from Road Atlanta for round 4, and your commentary team tonight is myself, Bernie Weemers, and as always, Mr. Alex McKellar. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks, Bernie. Welcome everyone to another great night of Monday Night Lights, official Skip Barber racing, of course. I tell you what, Bernie, the boys have come out in force again. If you can believe it, what are the odds? We have exactly matched the strength of field, 1 for 1, every single point for the big super soft midweek. So strength of field tonight, 4,282. Some of the top skippy drivers in the world on show. Most of them local. You know, it's fantastic to see a great mix of local and international talent. Bernie looking to put on a great display here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, and we had another 4 splits tonight, didn't we? And we're covering the top split here, 17 in this race, and at the moment we can see Ade Koba Lopez from Iberia. He's seeded as the number 1, and we'll see what sort of time he can make. Seeded in second is Enzo Cantor from Italy, and then a new name I haven't seen before from France is Joad Caroni. I hope I didn't butcher that, but I guess I do. Fahim Antonidis is back out there, seeded 4th, and Xavier Sola is seeded 5th. So it's a great turnout here.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic turnout. A lot of the top overseas drivers here. Ade Lopez, I've not seen him race skippies prior to this season, but I've seen him at all the big events. So looks like he's a pro license holder, professional iracing license holder. So those things don't come for free or easy. Very talented driver, and he puts on a good show when he's out there. Really smart and canny and very fast racer. Of course, series regular and 3-time series champion in the Monday Lights, Enzo Cantor, coming out once again for one of his favourite races of the week. Great to see Fahim Antonidis backing up after the Super Skips race last night, and also keep an eye out for Xavier Sola. Not new these days, done about 3 or 4 seasons now in the skippies. Really fast Iberian driver and great to race with, Bernie.
Yeah, and we're having a look at the times here at the moment. I'm not even sure. Mr. Caroni, we'll call him. He's sitting in provisional pole with the 134.928, but Fahim Antonidis, he's behind by about 11 hundredths of a second. Enzo Cantor right behind him, 3 thousandths of a second separates him from Fahim, and then Luke Whitten's currently sitting up there in 4th, and that's 2 hundredths of a second behind Enzo, and then Hakon, well, he's qualified 5th at the moment. So look at the spread there. It's incredible how close the top 10 are.
Yeah, really great to see Luke Whitten up there in the top 4 there, Bernie. The top 4, after their first lap, they're sitting under 1 minute 35 at the 134.9s, which is a fantastic effort. I noted that, I'm going to call him Darwood Caroni, our current provisional pole sitter. He's not set a second lap. He's actually pulled into the pits, so he won't stay there given the quality of this field. But interesting to note that the guys are diving into the mid 134s on their second laps. The conditions out here tonight, very cool track temps, bringing out the fast times, Bernie.
Yeah, well, speaking of fast times, look at Kevin Henderson. He's just come across and he had slotted in 3rd fastest, but Enzo Cantor just pipped him, and now all the faster guys are coming through. Luke Whitten just snatched pole from Fahim with a 134.518. So that's a great run by him. But Martinovic is seeded 5th at the moment, and we've got some really big names coming through and pushing all the others down.
Kane Halliburton making a late charge at that pole position, Bernie. Jumped to the top of the pops as he completed his second lap. Great to see, like I said, Luke Whitten up there leading the local charge, fresh off his win last week in the 2K Cup. I watched that race back. It was a fantastic mix of great driving and great strategy, Bernie. Came out of the final. They had 3 pit stops, if you can believe, in that race, and he came out the final one clear of all the best drivers in the world. So fantastic win there for Luke. Looking to put on a repeat performance here tonight. Currently sitting in P2 as the final stragglers round out their times, Bernie.
Yeah, and we can see most of them have finished now. We can see Luke out there. I think he's just pretty much getting the car sorted out at this point. Ade Coba Lopez, though, he is on his final flying lap here, currently sitting in 7th, and we'll see if he can improve here. He's basically, he doesn't need a lot, probably 800ths of a second, and he will jump up to 6th position as he's coming across now. The target is a 134.461. He crosses with a 134.544 and jumps straight to 3rd. So a great final run there by Ade.
Yeah, fantastic effort there by Mr. Lopez there. I was surprised to see him languishing down in P7, or P7 in this field's not really languishing, but for a driver of his calibre to be down there was quite a surprise. Viewers at home might be interested to know that the top 16 out of 17 cars are separated by less than a second. Sam Katakazinos with a 135.4, just a whisker under a second from pole, if you can believe that around here, Bernie. What a close race this is shaping up to be.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race, isn't it? And one of the viewers asked if this is a hosted race. No, it's not. This is the Australian Strength of Field official Skip Barber race, and the 9:15 p.m. split. So this has just been getting strength to strength, and as you said at the start, we're up there as one of the highest SOFs again this week. Another viewer, Alex, has asked what the cut-off is for the top split tonight. Do you know what that was?
Yeah, absolutely. Car 17, Darryl Ridley, with an I rating of 3,388, just snuck in as the final seeded driver for this top split. So it's getting very, very tough to get in here. Equal top strength of field for the week. 3 weeks in a row we've been on top of the pops, so to speak. So this is really becoming the place to be if you want to earn those officials championship points, but also have a crack at the Monday Night Lights.
Yeah, definitely. We'll explain what that is soon, viewers, about the Monday Night Lights. But let's have a look at our grid as it stands. Kane Halliburton from the UK, he will start from pole. Luke Whitten from Australia will start next to him in second. On the second row tonight, Ade Coba Lopez from Iberia, and he's joined by Håkon Grebstad from Scandinavia. Out of 5th tonight, we've got Fahim Antonidis from the UK, and Enzo Cantor will be joining him in 6th from Italy. Bart Martinovic from Australia in 7th. Kevin Henderson will join him in 8th position. Then we've got Mr. Caroni from France in 9th, Russell Clark in 10th from Australia. Tim Hendrickson, he will start out of 11th, and then we've got Timu Vascalampi out of 12th. Out of 13th, Xavier Sola. Then we've got Darryl Ridley in 14th, 15th, Ben Snell, 16th, Sam Katakazinos, and Vince Browning rounds out our field of 17.
I'll tell you what, it's not often you see Xavier Sola down in P13 on a grid, Bernie. Enzo Cantor down in P6, if you can believe it. It's quite a star-studded field. Kevin Henderson in P8, of course, he's normally good for qualifying. Really pleased to see Håkon Grebstad up in P4, just showing what sort of pace he's got. A very dedicated skippy driver, great guy. Fantastic to see him up there in the top 5, mixing it with some of the best.
Yeah, and we understand Sam's going to be streaming this tonight, so you can always simulcast, go to Twitch TV, Sam Katakazinos Racing. But here we go, folks, revs are rising here. Kane Halliburton, he will start from pole position. Keep an eye for Luke Whitten. We go here at Road Atlanta. Kane's got a great start, and Håkon's just gone straight on the inside to defend straight against, I think that might be Fahim Antonidis into turn 1, and Kane Halliburton leads them up to the S's for the first time.
Yeah, it looks like the rest of the field getting through okay from what I can tell, Bernie, as they come up over this blind crested chicane here at turn 3, Bernie. Really challenging corner that can bring you unstuck great when you get it right, particularly when those around you are struggling, and can really set you up to try and break the toe, the immense toe that this track brings out. It's very, very hard to get away from a driver. Even if they're up to a second slower, they can hang on in the draft here. It's rather deceptive how strong it is here, Bernie, but everyone just line astern at the moment, not sure where to move, and because they don't want to lose that draft, but a fantastic start so far.
Yeah, and keep an eye on Fahim here. He's been hit. Who's hit him? Enzo. Enzo's got in the back of him. So that's 2 weeks in a row that Enzo's outbraked himself, I think.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's having a bit of a blue with his little brother there. He's got a decent gap behind as he approaches turn 7 there. Critical corner, of course. Fahim checked up by the traffic in front, which looks to have really slowed up more than the guys expected. Hawk on there, catching Fahim out almost. Fahim turning to the inside, but Enzo really clobbering the back of Fahim there. He potentially missed his braking mark, or certainly didn't account for the check-up in the traffic there.
Yeah, so as we come across the line for lap 1 here, we've got Luke Whitten from Australia leading Ade Koba Lopez in second. Kane Halliburton, he's dropped down to third, and that would be the toe. But here comes Ade on the inside in turn 1 here of Luke. Luke's letting him through. No point battling yet, and we'll see how they go as these laps tick down. Hakon Grebstad, he's hanging on to these top 4, but after that incident, Fahim's dropped right off 2.1 seconds, and he's still got Enzo right on his tail with Bart Martinovic in 7th position.
Yeah, Fahim's carrying quite a bit of front and rear damage, but he's doing well to hang on here, or hang on to that position. Interestingly, of course, that's allowed the front 4 to get away. They have well and truly cleared the tail at 2.5 seconds. They'll be the ones to watch in this race, man. It'll be decided by that front 4. The second group now with Fahim on the front, I expect with that damage now that Fahim will be swamped in this next straight, Bernie.
Yeah, well, he's carrying a lot of damage, as you said, and Enzo's also carrying a lot of front end damage on his car. If we have a look as he's coming through, originally he lost the whole nose, but that's being replaced, but he doesn't have a front wing. But as you can see now, 3 wide, we've got Enzo Fahim on the outside, we've got Bart Martinovic, I think, and oh, look at this, almost 3 wide into turn 10A and 10B. They shuffle into 2 wide, and Enzo's caught on the outside there, and Xavier Sola, he takes that position.
Yeah, as expected, Fahim got swamped there. Everyone wanting a piece of the injured car there. Fahim Antoinette, such a great victory for him in the Australasian Super Skips last night. Not going the way he would have liked or expected here tonight. Just damage limitation at this point. That pack is certainly very, very busy in there as they fight. For positions 5 through 9 there by the looks of 10 even.
And Enzo Cantor's looking pretty racy there behind Xavier Sola, and we've got Tim Hendrickson in this as well as Mr. Caroni, and it continues on, but up front it's battling as Luke Whitten is trying to get a gap. I don't think he's going to get one tonight, but Ade is defending to Kane Halliburton and Hakon Grebstad. Great race by him tonight, sitting in 4th position.
Yeah, look, you really want to be in that top 4 or 5 on the grid, Bernie. Fantastic job from Hawkon to qualify in 4th tonight. And this is the result. Often the mid-pack misjudges the checkup that happens on that first lap as they go 2 wide. Now Kane Halliburton looking to make it 3 wide also. It'll be interesting to see what Ade Lopez does here. Kane really boxed in as they head into 10A, and they all settle out. It's all right. We're not going to get too racy yet. Save that for the later laps, boys. You've got a good lead here. You want to hang on to it. They've done really well to go line astern there. I miscalled that group behind Bernie. That group, if you can believe it, that second chasing pack goes all the way down to Sam Catagazinos in P16. Vince Brown is the only one who's really dropped off the back there. The rest of them all in with a chance to grab P5 by the end of this race.
Yeah, we can see now the number 3, that's Mr. Caroni coming through in the inside of Tim Hendrickson. He takes that position on the outside. We've got Enzo Cantor there. Fahim Antonidos is recovering slowly as he's trying to get his head around that heavily damaged Skip Barber rear end. But now he's challenging Enzo here, but I have a feeling as soon as they get through turn 7, he's going to fade again as they get onto that long straight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. Xavier Sola and Bart Martinovic look in P5 and 6 respectively. Look to have just got a bit of a gap there. They're about 1.5 seconds ahead of that big pack on the back there, Bernie. So those two will be head down, tail up, looking to consolidate that gap and see if they can't get away there, Bernie, because they don't want that hard-charging, angry pack of bees behind them, swamping them at the end.
Here comes Kane Halliburton, he's got the toe again, and Hakon's decided he's going to go the other side. It looks like Kane might have lifted a bit. Hakon definitely has. He's decided he doesn't want to get too racy too soon. But to give the viewers a bit of an idea, last race I was watching that Darryl Ridley, he pretty much got the slingshot from third position to take first coming into 10A, 10B. Unfortunately, him and Xavier Sola got together, and I think Hakon ended up winning that race. But here we go, we have 10 laps to go here. Luke Whitten is leading as they come up to the S's for the third time, maybe fourth.
Yeah, on lap 5 as it turns out, Bernie, but yeah, you're right. The guy in P3 on that back straight can really get a slingshot and be in a great position. The guy in first often ending up in third by the time. So the strategy is a really big part, because if you compromise 10A, you can get the drive out of 10B and finish first still from third at that point. So a lot of strategy in play and ducks and drakes, so to speak, but this field really starting to settle down now. Let's see, Tim Hendrickson now sitting right behind Darwood Peroni. In P8, with Fahim now sitting behind him. Have we lost Enzo? No, Enzo's just dropped back a little bit. He's got Kevin Henderson behind him, with Timo Vascalampi sitting right on their tail. The gaps are starting to open, but like I said, Bernie, as who was that ran wide? Darwood Corona. He ran wide on the exit of turn 7, Bernie. He gathered it up, but these gaps are not quite big enough to break the toe. This track is so hard to break the draft in. Kevin Henderson pulling on the outside of Enzo Cantor now up the back straight. Enzo lets him go. Timo Vascalampi looking to have a look as well. Enzo make it really hard, didn't shut the door hard enough, and Timo now looking on the inside of Kevin into 10A, Nut just falls back into line.
Yeah, and Timo looks pretty racy there, as is Enzo, and right behind him is Russell Clark, and as I was saying, he was racing for the victory last split, so you can see how quickly it changes around here. And Enzo Cantor, what's happened to him? He's in the pits, so Enzo's decided he can't race on with the car with the nose that damaged, so that's going to put an end to his run tonight, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. That hit on the rear of Fahim Antonides, lap 1, really taking its toll on Enzo. He was dropping back down the field. Mitchin Seavey just takes the fast repair and continues. Realistically, at that point, which he has done, you're really relying on the misfortune of others in this kind of field, Bernie. No one's going to be easy to catch down with the pace. As we said, the whole field separated more or less by about a second, so he's got his work cut out for him from there, Bernie.
Yeah, he certainly does, but it'll be a lot less costly for him to finish a race than it would be if he just parked the car and walked at this point in time, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Ade Lopez now, he's pulled out on the inside of Luke Whitten as they head down the back straight on lap 6, Bernie. Kane Halliburton seemingly content to sit in the draft this time, as is Håkon Grebsted. They both know fully well that the race for the flag really doesn't start for this 4 until the last couple of laps. It'll be about positioning your car in this group to see if you can't maximise your opportunity to grab that almighty first position worth a ton of points tonight. 242 championship points on offer here for the winner, Bernie. Very valuable in the overall official standings.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a huge turnout once again here for the Monday Night Lights, or the Aussie Strength of Field Skip Barber race. I was watching Kane Halliburton there, and he was just lifting, as was Hakon. He's pretty much letting Luke and Ade go at it, and I think as long as he can stay with them, he's pretty much happy for them to fight it out between them. But keep an eye on him, because I reckon on the last lap, him and Hakon are going to make a big play for this if they're still in this slipstream.
Yeah, potentially you're right there, Bernie. That's where you want to do it. I'm just on board with Bart Martinovich, who's sitting in behind Xavier Sola. Xavier, through turn 5, they're really letting the rear of the car hang out there. Interestingly enough, Bernie, they're doing very similar lap times to the leading group, I should say. Håkon Grebsted doing a 34.9 last lap, as did Xavier Sola. So, you know, Håkon will be partly in his mind watching the cars in front and just happy to sit there, partly watching the gap of the guys behind, which is currently about 2.4, 2.5 seconds. By the end of this straight, depending on how they shake out, probably down to 2.3. It'll be interesting to see what they want to do with that this lap. Again, Kane Halliburton getting boxed in by Luke. Ade probably a little bit more on the centre of the track than you'd ideally like, and really that'll be causing the likes of Hawkon to worry about the chasing pack as it slows them down through 10A and 10B, Bernie.
Yeah, and Kevin Henderson now, he's dropped down to 15th, so he's had it coming together with somebody. He's got a bit of a bent front wing on that car, and you can see the left wing there has got a bit of a moustache happening, as you call it, Alex.
Yeah, I'm just watching on this previous lap, Bernie. He looks to have just overshot the chicane over the top of turn 3, Bernie, and lost it all of his own accord. Really tough if you go in there a bit too hot. The suspension's unweighted. You've got to wait for it to weight up, get on the gas again, really, to grab yourself some grip, but very easy to lose it there. He won't be the first or the last to do it there, Bernie.
No, he definitely won't be, and we're riding on the nose cam here with Kane Halliburton. He was our pole sitter, currently sitting in third, but I reckon he's gonna still be in this with a big shot on that last lap. And as I said, last split they were 3 wide going into 10A, 10B. Darryl Ridley actually went around the outside of both of them and looked like he was going to take the win, but unfortunately had it coming together with Xavier Solar. But here we go, a day now, taking side by side once again. Luke Whitten sits in the middle of the track. Kane now, he's decided he's going to see if he can probe for any weakness. He looked on the inside, he's tucked back in now behind a day. I have a feeling he's just testing to see where he can make this move later on.
Yeah, potentially. He's been the front two in that A, Koba Lopez and Luke Whitten have been really boxing him in on the outside line. He'll have to make it 3 wide, and he's potentially showing the nose now to get them thinking about that. But it looks like those front two are trying to race really smart. Luke now going to the inside through turn 1, making the second most common pass here on this track, most likely, Bernie. Particularly for the guys with the high race IQs, they know that those are the 2 best spots to lose the minimum amount of time. Speaking of lost time, even sorting themselves out in that 10A, 10B complex, Bernie, they lost about half a second to the chasing pack from the start of the straight. And having said that, Darwood Caroni, our number 3 seated car, is now within 2 seconds. It's been sitting around 2.5 to 2.8 seconds. He's now just 1.8 seconds off the back of this group, Bernie, with a hard charging Bart Martinovich on his tail as well. This could turn into a battle of 6, Bernie.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat channel there, and Phil Lee has looked up Mr. Caroni's name, and apparently it's pronounced Jarwood. I think I've got that right, and thanks, Phil, for letting us know about that, because you know us, we don't love to butcher names, but we generally do that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to go with a strong J. J-Wad.
J-Wood?
It's a capital. Yeah, I'm going to go J-Wood. That's a strong J, I reckon. 3 wide, 2-3 wide behind in the second group, Bernie. That's going to be costing him time. Xavier Solo letting the rear hang out once again as he ducks in behind both Bart and J-Wad. With Tim Hendrickson, I was wrong, Bernie. It's not going to be a battle pack of 6 if they get it. It's going to be a battle pack of 8 or 9 with Ben Snell sitting in P9 at the moment, just trying to hang on, although he I don't know if he got a slowdown there because he dropped right off as he tucks in behind the ailing or flailing Fahim Antonides, carrying that damage from the previous incident, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at you go, pronouncing J-Wad's name correctly after the lap before you were pronouncing it Daywad. So, yeah, no worries.
I'm going to go with it. That's what I'm going to go with. But I thought the D might have been strong, but apparently, according to our viewers, the J is strong. So it had to be one or the other, right?
Yeah. Now, we're riding with Hakon Grebstad here. I've probably pronounced that wrong as well, but he's sitting in 4th. The biggest problem he's going to have is when these 3 start fighting, he's going to have nowhere to go unless he really wants to push this into 4 wide. In fact, Kane's got to make sure he doesn't get boxed in as well, because we saw him now having a look on the inside. They're covering him off and he's forcing the issue. Hakon's gone right to the right here, and you can see now, here's a run 3 wide ahead of him. He's got absolutely nowhere to go.
Yeah, once again, Kane forced to go 3 wide if he wants to have a look. Hawkon really dodging the draft, if anything. He's just getting enough of it to keep him in touch, but doesn't want too much. He doesn't want to get involved in that. I mean, the smart play might be, if you're in this position, he's seeing in front of him how hard they're making it for Kane to have a look here and even advance one position. The front two really working cleverly together there. Hawkon might be just saying to himself, you know what? It's that hard for Kane. What's it going to be like for me in P4? Particularly now as you're on lap 11, just the 4 remaining. The last 2 to 3 laps, as Kane really almost getting checked up there by Luke taking a natural line and Kane having to wash off a bit of speed as they head over the top once again. It'll be interesting to see what Hawkon does here, whether he does decide to get involved or just decided that to hang back and score a bag full of points will be enough for tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he decides. But meanwhile, these 3 up ahead are fighting. We did see Fahim. He made a great move there on Ben Snell. Under brakes into 10A, 10B. But something's happened to him because he has dropped all the way down to 17th position.
Yeah, just catching it now, but it looks like he's lost the rear end going through turn 1. Very easy to do. Caught it up, but then not in time to keep on the black stuff. And as soon as you hit the grass out there, you're usually onto a rapid trip into the wall, which is exactly what happened to Fahim there. Very unfortunate night for him. Like I said, last night's Australasian Super Skips winner at this track, Bernie. It's a great win last night, but unfortunately tonight not been his night. Kane Halliburton now at the front. He's managed to work his way through that group to the front, Bernie, breaking very deeply, compromised his run out of the final part of that 10A, 10B complex, and he'll be really, really under threat now from Ade Lopez in P2, Bernie.
Yeah, we're just having a look at that now. He's around. Kane's around.
Yeah, it looks like Ade got a good run out there, a better run than Kane as was expected, and he just mistimed his run, got into the rear of Kane Halliburton and turned him there on the front straight as they crossed the line with just 3 laps remaining. Very unfortunate incident, not something that I think is in Ade Lopez's game. I know he'll be kicking himself over that. He's a very smart and controlled driver. Racing incident, but an unfortunate one, Bernie.
Yeah, we're just having a look at that replay and we can see Ade just getting into the back of him there, and Kane did a good job to pull this thing up, and he's coming across. Oh man, he was lucky he didn't get taken out there by the number 3. That was Jawad that did a good job in avoiding him, but that could have been a lot worse for a lot of other drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Kane didn't grab the brakes until the very least opportune moment there and nearly braked in front of them. Yeah, real shame there for Kane. That really started back with that compromised run out of the final chicane, Bernie. Ade had too much speed for Matt to manage, as it turned out, over Kane, who didn't have enough, unfortunately, as a result of that deep dive into 10A on the previous lap. The front 3, though, continuing now on lap 12 of 14 here tonight, Bernie. They now do have Jawad Karoni now just sneakily within the drafting range after that incident, Bernie. He's just under the 1 second mark. We just see if he can actually hang on, because as each of these straights, like they're currently on now, as they commence lap 13 with just the 2 laps remaining, the front group tend to tighten up a bit and pull a bit of a gap, but he does look briefly to jumped out over a second, but now at 0.8, so he is catching them, Bernie, and this group's about to get bigger.
Yeah, and we just saw Tim Hendrickson there pass Bart Martinovic, so Tim now moves up to 6. But I tell you what, if this group does get bigger, expect some fireworks in a couple of laps' time. But at the moment, it's Ade leading Luke Whitten, and Hakon Grebstad there is sitting in 3rd. But you're right, here comes Jawad. He's just about breached the gap now, probably only a couple of car lengths separating them.
Yeah, he's down to 0.6 of a second now, right on the toe. He doesn't have to worry about the traffic in front checking up, so he's probably free to take a really good line through, or a natural line through turn 7 onto this long straight, but the guys in front will be getting the toe. He's just 0.5, nearly 0.6 behind. Hawkon now pulling out to the inside of Luke Whitten there, looking to have a run on Ade Lopez, who just pulls across and takes the natural racing line there, Bernie, and they box in Hawkon once again. His worst nightmares are coming true now as Jawad comes right up on the tail of him to make this a 4-way battle with Xavier close behind him, Bernie.
Yeah, and I think Hakon could see J-Wad coming up there, and he wants to get up into second all of a sudden now. He's starting to get pushy, and meanwhile, Ade is defending. Now Ade goes on the inside of Luke Whitten. What are they going to do? He tucks back in, he's just protecting that position, but J-Wad all of a sudden is in this battle. So is Xavier Solar. He's being dragged into it as well. All of a sudden, we have a battle pack here of 5 cars.
Yeah, 5 cars. The patient man, Hawkon in P3, having been in P4, just patiently waiting for his opportunity. Like I said, worst nightmare is the trailing back catching up to you after a late race incident. So he's now fending off J-Wad and Xavier behind him. I think J-Wad will have a look up here on the inside. Well, don't touch tyres there, mate. Turn 6. Nice clean pass there. Xavier looking to poke the nose up as well. That'll compromise all their runs onto the main straight. Hawkon left to hang out to dry there. Unfortunately down now in P5 as a result, and really out of the podium contention potentially, or at least the top steps. The battle on up front though, Ade Lopez, he's stuck himself in the prime position to grab the draft here. Luke hanging out to the left, forcing Ade Lopez to go to the right. Interesting tactic here, Bernie. It's possible to crisscross from the outside. Let's just see what Luke does here. J-Wad coming up behind him. Oh, it's a tight battle here. Nice and clean so far. Let's see where they go.
Yeah, final lap here so far. Ade has Luke Whitten's measure as they come across the final corners now. J-Wad sitting in here third. Hakon's moved up to fourth, but as they come across, it looks like Ade's going to take the win from Luke Whitten in second, and Hakon, he comes home in fourth position.
Tell you what, that was a remarkably sedate finish, all things considered, Bernie. No big moves into the final chicane. Everyone going line astern. A great show of driving there and intelligent driving there. No one wanting to throw away what was an otherwise, really successful race.
Yeah, and Sam Katakazinos, he came home in 12th position in the end of that race, so he made up quite a number of positions on the tail end of that race, but now he's breathing in the fumes. Mr. Russell Clark doing the old Skip Barber fireworks routine here, or he's just decided he's going to be Batman and use a bit of a smokescreen.
Something like that. That's a great result for Russell. Actually, one up from the midweek super soft race. Although we're going to have to start calling this a super soft at this rate. But he finished 10th in the big race here midweek. Not one better in 9th here tonight. So a great set of points for Russell this week. A good drive for the sole or lone Team Milo driver in this event.
Yeah, so I was expecting fireworks on that last lap. It didn't really happen, did it? The guys were racing very nicely with each other towards the end of that. I think in the back of their mind, they were thinking about the huge haul of points they were going to get tonight if they kept it all going nicely. But let's have a look at our final results so the viewers can see where their favourite driver finished tonight. So looking at our race results, Ade Koba Lopez from Iberia takes the win just in front of Luke Whitten from Australia. J-Wad comes home from France in third. Then Hakon Grebstad, Scandinavia, comes home in fourth. Xavier Solar, Iberia, fifth. Sixth was Tim Hendrickson from Benelux. Then we had Bart Martinovich from Australia in seventh, followed by Ben Snell, eighth. Ninth was Russell Clark. 10th, Kane Halliburton. Sam Katakazinos up 5 positions to finish in 11th. 12th was Darryl Ridley. Home in 13th, Timo Vascalampi. And then we had Kevin Henderson in 14th. 15th, Vince Browning. Fahim Antonidos comes home in 16th. Enzo Cantor, he finishes in 17th.
Yeah, real shame to see those guys at the other end of the field. Fahim and Enzo, that is. Of course, they were involved in that incident on the first lap as the traffic checked up at the very crucial turn 7, Bernie. And then neither of them able to limp around with their damaged cars in the end and finishing at the tail end of the field. Like I said, Enzo would have struggled very much so to get through this field, as we saw the pace was on and really high quality. I mean, the best lap time there tonight from what I can see was a 33.2. And now that's young J-Wad Karoni. In draft, no doubt, but a low 33 around here is incredible, Bernie.
Yeah, it certainly is, and the biggest mover tonight was Xavier Solar from Iberia, up 8 positions to come home in 5th, and hit the wrong button yet again. The biggest shakers, though, that was a draw between Fahim Antonidis and Enzo Canto, both dropping 11 positions tonight.
Yeah, real shame for them. I think I said at the start I was surprised or it's amazing to see any field with Xavier Solar sitting in P13. Shows the measure of his skills, rising all the way to be in that battle pack for the top 5 at the end there, Bernie. Be a very satisfying result, I would think. P5 for Xavier, up the most spots in this very, very star-studded field.
Yeah, it was a massive field, wasn't it? And looks like we've got Kevin Henderson in the green room. Kevin finished in 14th position, but we'll bring him up and get his view on how his race went tonight.
Sure. Did you want to bring him up?
Yeah, and you can talk to him.
Sounds good.
I don't want to catch his cold. He's probably still croaky.
Sure thing. G'day, Kevin. Alex McKellar here, mate. Welcome to back to the RRTV commentary booth, mate, after your stint in here last night. Pretty big field out there, very strong field, mate. How did you find the running out there?
Oh, Alex, that was so intense and fast. I shot myself in the foot, which was a bit unfortunate, but I tell you what, I reckon you boys were probably working just as hard as we were trying to call that. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, you're right, mate. There was, it didn't know where to look at times. There was a pack all the way back to almost P16 at one point after those front boys got away. But amazing, you won't necessarily looked at the results yet, but equal top to the point strength of field of the week, massive load of points on offer, of course, and quite a star-studded field, including some names I hadn't seen before. Was the racing hot out there? Like, was the quality all right at the same time?
Yeah, Alex, it was outstanding. The racing was just, that was probably before I missed the gear coming into turn 3 and had to take the escape route. But before that was probably some of the most intense racing I've ever had on iRacing. That was just just mental focus. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying mid-race Enzo had to pit after his incident and said at the time, he's not likely to make his way through this field like you would a general race during the week. And sure enough, he sort of finished where he ended up after the pit. The strength out there and the quality is just amazing. To think that we can get the likes of Ade Lopez coming back fairly regularly, 7,700 I-rated pro driver, and even perhaps more exciting is the fact that we've got Luke Whitten finishing P2 right on his heels. So it speaks really highly of the quality of the field and the local talent at the same time.
It certainly does, Alex, and that was good for Luke. He had a bit of bad luck last night, which was a shame, but no, good on him. He's getting his mojo back, Luke. He's had a bit of bad luck, but good to see him get up there. And look, like you're saying, the strength of field in these races is just getting more and more intense every week. Like, if you go back, the second split's probably a higher SOF than what we started with running originally, I'd reckon.
Yeah, well, just looked at that. It's 2,200 in the second split, which is a medium strength midweek race. You're not unhappy with a 2,200 strength of field, but that's the second split here. So, fantastic effort for everyone to come out once again. But I'll hand you over to Bernie and see if he's got any questions.
Yeah, Kevin, I noticed you weren't running your pretty livery tonight. That's my question.
Bernie, I think your trade and paints is playing up, mate.
Okay.
There.
I had a big... okay.
Yeah, because my livery was coming up on my screen, and it's a trading paint's been a bit weird lately.
Okay, I'll let that one slide. But hey, mate, good driving there. Finished 14th position tonight, but in a field this strong, excellent effort, mate. And I tell you what, it's not often we get this sort of a turnout in our top split, is it, with all these top names here?
Yeah, you're not wrong there, Bernie. I'm a bit disappointed with my result. Like I said to Alex, I shot myself in the foot there going into turn 3. Me and Timu were just starting to work together there and try and pull the the next group in, but I missed that gear, and when you're going that hard, the tiniest little mistake, and it's all over Red Rover.
Yeah, so we're going to let you go anyway, Kevin, because we've got other people to see. Not really, there's no one down there, but do you want to give a shout out to all your sponsors tonight?
Yeah, Bernie, yeah, all the sponsors, thanks for your financial backing, guys. It makes it a lot easier. That'll be my wife and partner. All right, guys, thanks very much. Good night and have a good one. Thanks for the broadcast once again. Thanks again to RRTV. Great job, guys.
Yep, see you, Kevin.
See you, Bernie. See you, Alex.
See you, mate.
Yeah, so fantastic showing there tonight once again for the Monday Night Lights, or the Australian Strength of Field race, Alex. These races never fail to disappoint, do they?
No, they don't, Bernie. And look, really impressed with the driving on display. A couple of little racing incidents here and there, but that's to be expected when you're pushing that hard. Interesting to hear the perspective of Kevin there, that it's some of the most intense racing he's had, where, you know, those of us who driven with Kevin knows he likes to race and race hard. And then to see him sort of midfield even and having to race to that sort of extent where a mistake like that comes out is really impressive. But like we said when we were talking to him, you know, 2200 strength of field for the second split. Cooper Webster taking that out. Mick Gray relegated to the second split, which is, you know, not a regular event these days, but, you know, interesting nonetheless. He's down in P4 there. Keith Sharp, who was a regular in the top split in the early days, there sitting in third with Isaac Sinage, I think you pronounce it. I'm giving up on names, Bernie. In P2 with Rick Davis making a strong push for driver of the night in that race, going from 17th to P5. Also wanted to give Les Peck a big shout out for taking out the third split tonight, Bernie, with another Monday Night Lights regular, Mark Jeffrey in P4. So, look, a big spread of competitors all the way down to split 4. Bernie, all the quality and the big guns out on display in the top split, of course, but plenty of action to be had whichever race you're in tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and I know a lot of the guys on the lower split would have had a fantastic time driving. I did hear from our in-car reporter, and that's Mr. Luke Emerton here. I'll bring up what he had to say. I think he had a good time, but he's telling me he's run out of petrol on the last lap.
Oh, no. Can I tell you, he started 15th in the second split and still managed to grab a top 10 just in P10. So, interesting introduction for Luke. I know you and I were talking about it prior to the broadcast. He was hoping to get in the top split, but he'll need to do a bit of work on his I rating to crack it. Like we said, you know, the lowest ranked driver in the field tonight it was Darryl Ridley, if you can believe it, man, with incredible pace at 3,388 odd I rating before the start of the race. So tougher and tougher to get in here. Puts on a fantastic show, which is what we're after, though. So bring it on, I say.
Yeah, so Luke basically said he qualified 13th, got up to 8th position, but he ran out of fuel on the final chicane, and because he had no draft for most of the race, rolled over the line in 10th. 7.9 litres not enough, he felt.
Yeah, absolutely, it's not. I know young Russell Clark, who finished in P9 here tonight, he won a race, if you can believe it, earlier in the week with 7.9. But like Mr. Luke Emerton there, he spluttered through the last portion of the track, just limping over to hang on to the win. There are some tracks you can do it. This one is probably not recommended.
Especially when you've got that big hill to get over after 10A, 10B before you can roll over the line. But looking at our week ahead, folks, our next race on RRTV is this Wednesday night for the Wankel Australia New Zealand Championship. I take it you'll be back out there having a run, Alex?
Oh, I plan to at this stage, Bernie. My usual taxi duties on a Wednesday night are on hold again, so I will be taking full advantage and running in that fantastic series again. Geez, I enjoyed my race last week, Bernie. I'm looking forward to having another one.
Yeah, and it's another series that is just getting stronger and stronger. And of course, Luke Hamilton should be up in the booth with me, hopefully, to call that race. Thursday night, we've got the Thursday Night Thunder, and that's the NASCAR trucks, and they're also putting on a great show. Now, that will have Ryan Shelton will be joining me very early for Ryan. He's from South Carolina, and he gets up, I'm not sure what time it is, like 6 a.m. his time to call that race, so it's great to have his company. But then RRTV has a bit of a break from there for the rest of the weekend, and then we'll be back the following Monday night. So don't know about you, Alex, I'm looking forward to having a few days rest and relaxation.
I was going to say, with your schedule, Bernie, that's a well-earned break as well. So I know you've got some new toys to play with as well, so enjoy that break, mate.
Yeah, we're going to get the new computer that was crowdfunded, thanks to the community who put all that money into that, and it's finally going to come to fruition this weekend, and hopefully we're going to unveil it next Monday night, just to see what that bad boy can do. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sounds like a plan, Bernie. I am perhaps not as equally as excited as you are, but certainly very excited to see you roll that puppy out.
Yeah, it's been a long time going, but once again, to the community who put money into this project, I've been flabbergasted by the support you guys have given me, and very humbled. So I sincerely appreciate everyone that has backed this project. But I guess, Alex, getting to the end of our broadcast, mate, I might let you say goodnight to the people, because I know you have a very special sign-off you like to use, and I don't want to steal it from you.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thank you, Bertie. Thank you once again for your support of this series. Thank you to all the drivers who come out week in, week out to make this event what it is. It's very enjoyable, both up here and on the track, I'm sure. But until next time, everyone, we'll say, on behalf of Bertie Weavers, we'll say ciao for now.